So let's revise the entire chapter one more time. Are you ready, guys? We are going to revise chapter number 7 one more time. Let's recall. So this chapter is broken down into 4 parts. Number 1 is what? Entrepreneur, intrapreneur, culture. Then you are having a leadership and you are having what? Structure. Okay. So what is the difference between Antra and Indra? Entrepreneur means what? The person who has started the business. It was his idea to start the business. On whose idea the business got started. It is called as what? Entrepreneur. What is intra? Intra means what? The person who is working for Antra. Example, Satya Nadella is what? Intra. And what? Bill Gates is the entrepreneur. Okay, one more example. Larry Page is entrepreneur and the Sundar Pichai is entrepreneur. Who is taking more risk? Antra. Who is taking less risk? Intra. Who is investing more capital? Antra. Less capital? Intra. Okay, tell me guys. Now the question is, what is the meaning of strategic supportive culture? So whenever you want to implement a strategy, make sure it is in tune with the culture. If the strategy is not in tune with the culture, strategy will not work in the long run. Strategy, before you form a strategy, make sure you are understanding the culture, and as per the requirement of a culture only you are implementing a strategy. Okay, next point, strategy and culture. If the strategy is not in line with culture, do not prefer to change culture, because it takes a lot of time, because it is the belief, it is the tradition, it is the way you work, it is the tradition, it is your thoughts, it is your expectation, it is the way you work. So culture is not developed in just a short period of time. It is developed in over the period of time. And changing culture is very challenging job. So in case the strategy is not in line with the culture, make sure you are not changing culture, you are trying to change a strategy. What do you think? So the culture of one organization is required to be same with other organization, or it can be different? Culture of two organizations are not required to be same. Culture of Ratan Tata and culture of Mukesh Ambani organizations are not required to be the same. Okay. What do you think? Culture is always obstacle, or sometimes it could be an opportunity also? Sometimes it could be supportive also, right? Depends. Next, strategic leadership. So what are the two types of leadership? Number 1, transactional. Number 2, transformational. Whenever you get enthusiasm to work harder, you get punishment, you get reward to work harder. So here the motivation is given with the help of reward and punishment. Transactional. Here you get inspired. Transformation, right? Tell me Mahatma Gandhi, transformational. Hitler, transactional. Here punishment is used, transactional. Now tell me which one is informal, transformational. Formal, transactional. One more is proactive, transformational. And reactive, transactional. Now tell me what all 5 things are to be, what all 5 characteristics are required in manager. So these are the following are the 5 leadership skills required in manager also. Following are the 5 leadership skills required in a manager also. Number 1, example, Mukesh Ambani, like or staying at the top and monitoring the business. Number 2, Virat Kohli. It should create an enthusiasm in the organization. See, although he is a manager, but he should have some skills like leader. Number 1, staying at the top and looking the business, monitoring the business. Number 2, he should create enthusiasm. Number 3, he should be like Samsung. So whenever organization's environment is changing, organization will also change. Okay, next point, he should be like Messi. In case something goes wrong, he should take the responsibility on his own shoulder, and he should be ready to take corrective action. He should be like Ratan Tata, means he should be always ethical. He should never behave unethically. So there are the 5 characteristics of leaders which we expect in managers, and there are 7 organizational structures: simple, functional, divisional, SBU, matrix, hourglass and network. Now my question is simple and. So this is simple, guys. This is simple. All the employees are working under one owner. They're answerable to one owner. It is used in the traditional business. Whenever organization is very small, any employee can do anything. There is no specific responsibility. They are not master in their business because anyone can do anything. But Since nobody, so if something goes wrong, nobody was taking the responsibility. We have introduced functional where every specific job is done by every specific person. Like F1 in this image is done by, F1 is managing only finance, F2 is managing what? Marketing. Like they are responsible for their own particular work. Okay, so they become expert because they are doing the same job again and again. But it's in case something goes wrong in marketing, only F2 will have to take responsibility. F1, F3 will not be responsible. But when again organization becomes bigger, you need one layer between CEO and the functional layer. This is the divisional structure where CEO and functional is again. There's one interlinking between the CEO and functional. We have added one more layer, that is what? Divisional. This is the example of what Walmart, where the entire organization is broken down into various divisional area, like geographical area, like India, UK, USA. So India is managed by D1, UK is managed by D2, USA is managed by D3. And for every geographical location, you are having what? Different managers, functional managers. So here functional managers and CEO. There is one more manager, what? Divisional. So now the question is, what is the difference between divisional and functional? Where you find 3 layers? Divisional. Where you find only 2 layers? Functional. In functional, the burden on CEO is very high. But in divisional, the burden of CEO is reduced with the help of divisional managers. So what is the use? When divisional is used, when organization becomes more bigger, more larger, you should shift yourself from what? Functional to divisional. Understood everyone? Okay. Which one is more costlier? Divisional. Currently we have taken the example of General Motor also. General Motor is also using in real life divisional. What they do? See, General Motor has done what? Divided it's all the products among what? Various category of the cars. It is into automobile sector like hatchback, sedan, SUV, MUV, and for every sector they are having their own functional group. So this kind of structure is called as what? Divisional. Now next one is what? Next one is what? SBU. So there are the examples of SBU, ITC, Sanjay Ghodawat, right? So all this kind of example, Godrej also. This type companies are having what? SBU because they're having what? Different, see in division also you are having different products. In SBU also you are having different product. But say example, Haldiram is not required to have SBU because the products which are sold out under Haldiram are what? Similar nature. They can be sold out under one roof. But SBU may, the business are so distinct from each other. They are so diversified from each other. They cannot be managed by one particular manager. It is like in this case also you can see ITC has got different SBU, tobacco SBU, hotel SBU, agriculture SBU, FMCG SBU. For every SBU, different managers are appointed, their competitors are different, their managers are different, their mission, their vision, their objective, their goals, their balance sheet, everything is so different. One person will not be able to manage the entire operation. That's why one specific CEO is appointed for a specific category of business. Okay. So there's one more question on this SBU. There are 3 characteristics of SBU. Number 1, all the related products are under one roof. Number 2, all the related products under one roof, they're having separate competitors and every business will be managed by separate CEO. Okay, there are some advantages of SBU also. Number 1, it is you can make a strategic planning. There's about scientific grouping. You can have number 3, they're having their own CEOs, they're having their own competitors, and we can clear the confusion. So these are the 5 different benefits of SBU. Now the last point is what? Matrix. Matrix is the combination of vertical and horizontal. It is the combination of vertical and horizontal. Okay, it is a combination of functional and divisional. Earlier only vertical structure was there. Now it is the vertical as well as what? Horizontal structure, where one person, one particular, for example, somebody who is working here, somebody who is working under the production, right? So he will not be guided and controlled by only the production manager. He will be also guided by the project managers. Okay, so he'll be having what? 2 bosses. He's answerable to production also. He's answerable to this, because this person, for example, this is the I10 manager. This is the production manager of entire Hyundai. This is the manager of I10, I20 manager, and what? Varna manager. So in case the production of I10 is happening, so obviously this is the production manager. He will have control here. This is what I10 manager, even he will have control here. So he'll be having what? 2 bosses. He's answerable to 2 person. He will be getting punishment from 2. He will be getting reward from 2. So this is very, very complex, but very, very useful also. Why it is complex? Because one particular thing is managed by two different people. It is possible only if there is a proper coordination and communication between these two managers, because employee should not get confused. If the expectation of production manager is different, expectation of this manager is different, then employee may get confused. Okay. And the last structure is what? Hourglass structure and matrix structure. Okay. What is hourglass structure? Hourglass is like this, you know, you are having a this is hourglass structure, where the large number of employee will work at the top level, large number of employee will also work at the bottom, but at the middle level there's very less number of employees. Earlier in the old days, when the technology was not there, you used to find a lot of employees at the middle also, but because of the technology, because of the internet technology, because of email, WhatsApp, Telegram, there's a direct communication between top level and bottom level. That is why there's no need of what middle level. Now there's a transparency, there's a fast decision making, and moreover it is a less costly also because of technology. The gap between top level and bottom level is fulfilled with the help of technology. Okay, what is the next point? The last point, the network structure. What is the meaning of network structure? In the network structure, everything is what? Outsourced. Organization will believe on buy or make. They will believe on what? Buy. They do not make anything. They do not have a lot of employees on their payroll. They believe in what? Outsource. And their production, their everything, their marketing, their stitching, their, you know, the billing, their payroll, everything is so outsourced. Like companies like Levi's, UCB, companies like Levi's, UCB, Reebok are using this structure, and that is what, see, companies, since companies not making anything, they can reach globally, and moreover, whenever environment gets changed, they can change easily because they don't have to change, they have to make others change. So matrix, we have seen what network structure also. So we have seen various structures. So this chapter is broken down into 4 parts. Number 1, structure. Number 2, leaders. Number 3, culture. And number 4, antra, intra. So chapter number 7 is over. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.